How's it going, guys? It's Najam. Welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to review the Miyoo Mini Plus, and there's quite a bit to talk about because you guys know I go into the emulators and the experience using different emulators and different systems. So let's get started. Now I will leave affiliate links in the description, so please check them out. I'm going to start off with these specifications. This has a 3.5-inch IPS display with a resolution of 640 by 480. It has a ARM Cortex-A7 dual-core CPU that runs at 1.2 GHz. It has, surprisingly, 128 megabytes of RAM, which is just really minuscule in this day and age. You have the SD card down here, and it goes up to about 128 gigabytes. It has built-in Wi-Fi. This is running Linux, and it weighs 162 grams. On the back, if you open the back, you can see that it has a 3000 milliamp hour battery inside it. And now the claimed battery life is about 5 hours, but I've been getting about 3 hours on this, and it's because I fast forward a lot when playing Pokemon, so that might be why I'm getting less battery life. Now the price of this is £30, so this is very cheap, and if you're looking for a handheld that plays a lot of games, I do recommend this. This is an amazing handheld. Now let's take a look at the design. As you can see, it's a very small handheld. Even though this is the Mini Plus, it is a very small handheld. If you saw my unboxing video, you noticed where I mentioned that the 3.5-inch display is very small. And I can only imagine the Mini being just minuscule. I mean, that's going to be really tiny. So let's look around the design. It's got a very nice design. It is missing the chin, which I might mention later on in the video when we talk about comfort. But as you can see, when it does have the missing chin, you can see that it has a very beautiful looking design in my opinion. And you have the buttons at the back. Design wise, I really love it. It's a beautiful, really cute looking handheld. And because it's very small, the portability from this is very nice. It's a very portable device. It's very easy to fit in your pocket. Now let's take a look around the device. So on the front, as I mentioned, you have the IPS display, and it's very cool because it has very small bezels. Now let's talk about the controls as well while we're here. The controls, in my opinion, these are probably one of the best controls I've used on a handheld. The D-pad is amazing. It just really is. These buttons are soft, but they are very well rounded off, and they are very easy to touch, very nice on the hand, very nice feeling. They are very tactile, just almost perfect, because I can't find anything better than this. These are very nice controls. And you have the select button and the start button. Now these are tactile clicky buttons. So is the menu button, and if you look on the side, you have the volume up and down. You have on the top some LEDs that show you the function of the device, so when it's charging, when it's turned on or not. You have the power button, and on the back over here you have the removable cover for batteries, and you can unplug the battery. And you have the R and L, the R2 and L2, and these are clicky buttons as well. And on the bottom you have the headphone jack. You have the micro SD card slot, which has the games and everything on it, and I believe also the operating system. So you can install other operating systems on this, like Onion OS, which I've not done. I might go into that in a bit. And you do have the Type-C for charging. So overall, the controls are amazing, but I will mention one thing. I do find the shoulder buttons a little bit hard to press sometimes. I have to press them in firmly, which is something I'm not used to on other handhelds, but that's just something I need to mention. They haven't caused me any issues though, so that's that. Now it does also have a front-facing speaker, which is very nice. Now I have heard that it distorts when at louder volumes, but it sounds pretty nice. And you can hear the sound test when I'm playing the games if I put them up. It's a mono speaker, but it is very nice. Now the build quality is also very nice. It's a very well solid feeling device. Now I want to talk about ease of use. Now this is a very easy to use device. It's using a Linux operating system. You can eject memory card, and you can go look at the saves and the different emulators. It's using RetroArch, as you can see, and you do have the codes over here, or the emulators if you want to call them that. And the user interface on the default operating system is very nice, and so I haven't decided to use Onion OS. Now if you do install Onion OS, you will enhance this experience exponentially, because it has a lot of amazing features. I've just took with this one because I didn't feel I needed to upgrade from this. Very happy with how easy it is to use. You can simply pick this up, start playing the games, and it's very nice. Now there is one thing I need to mention about the chin. This is not a very comfortable device to hold for long periods of time. Mainly I've been playing this by just leaning on something and then just playing like this. Now I do feel cramps when I'm playing this, because it's very small, and this has a huge community behind it. I should have mentioned this in the start, but that means you can find almost anything on it. You can get grips, you can get all sort of different customizations and everything, so you're pretty much, you know, sorted out in that regard. But I do need to mention that. And let's talk about the operating system briefly. This is using Linux. They've got a very simple operating system over here. You have just some few settings, and I'm sure you've seen all of these. I'm not going to go into them. I will mention one thing. So you have two options of playing on this. You have the game menu here, and then you have RetroArch. Now RetroArch allows you to just pick up the code and then just go on the game. So if I want to go on Pokemon or whatever, I can just go on it just like over there. And that's the way I've been playing this, because it saves the games in, from my opinion, the right way, because then I can use them and I can find them easily and use them with other devices. I can just copy them across. Now if you use game, you have a slightly different interface, but it's the same thing. The only difference is I found when it comes to using the save states and the games and everything, it's a bit annoying, because you can save the games. If I go on Ultimate Spider-Man, I will press the menu button. You get the menu button on here, and you can see the save states. Now it doesn't show them over here because I didn't use this to play the games. I used RetroArch, and that's the thing. This thing is saving, and the states is saving the states and also the game save data somewhere else. And if I go in the same game over here, what is Spider-Man, and this is gonna load RetroArch, and then I can go and load the state, and as you can see I can jump back in. So it is saving the state and loading the state. So I've been playing like this because I just find it better. That's the only thing I need to mention. So I've been using RetroArch, not the game stuff. Okay, now let's talk about the emulation. I'm gonna go over the systems that I have used on this, and I've not used all of them because they're just too many to use. You can go into whichever one you want to use and you can play them. Neo Geo Pocket is amazing on this. If I forget to mention that, let's get started with arcade. Arcade on this is amazing. It works with integer scaling and it looks really nice. The pixel to pixel display is awesome, and it's a decent sized display. I want to mention this 4:3 aspect ratio is amazing. I thought it would be small. This is a small display, but the experience you get from this is amazing. It just seems bigger than it actually is. So there's just one difference. Also, so the arcade is very nice. Performance is excellent. Sound is excellent. I've just enjoyed playing a lot of arcade on this, so that's very nice. Now moving on to Game Boy. Again, Game Boy on this looks amazing. It has a front end and also the overlays and everything. I play in integer scaling because the size of the game is actually very nice. And so as you can see, you have the overlay over here, says Game Boy Color, and I've got this look on it that has a sort of pixel look, and this is pixel to pixel integer scaling on it, and it looks really good. The other thing is you can fast forward by pressing the R1, and you can fast forward, and the speed of this is really nice. It's very comfortable to play with. Now on my PC, when I fast forward this game, it just instantly jumps to the other end because it is way too fast. But I can recommend playing Game Boy on this Game Boy Color on this. They are absolutely amazing. The integer scaling works exceptionally well. The size and the portability and of this system is almost perfect. It really is. I can only see the square display would be an improvement for this, but I can't complain. This looks very, very nice. And of course with Game Boy, because it's a very low powered device, you won't find any hitches and any frame drops and all that kind of stuff. And same thing with the Game Boy Color, and also with the NES. NES also has integer scaling and it works really, really well with this. The games look really, really nice as well. Again, no drawbacks or anything, so that looks and works really, really well. Now I do want to talk about SNES. Integer scaling on this as well. It looks very, very, very nice. SNES again has integer scaling, and so the display looks amazing on this for SNES, and performance on most of the games is actually going to be really, really good. There only might be a couple of games here and there that do stutter just a little bit. So again, performance is just amazing. It's very, very nice. Now let's move over to Game Boy Advance. So Game Boy Advance looks amazing on this, and the reason I'm saying that is because initially when I first started using it, it looked bad, but you can actually adjust some settings and make it look amazing. So I've got some filters on this. I'm going to go show you my settings, but as you can see, it looks really, really, really good. You can see the pixel to pixel look on this. It's not perfect because integer scaling on Game Boy Advance makes the screen really, really tiny, so it becomes very hard to play, and I don't recommend that. I recommend using it this way. So here's what I've done. If I go into settings, so go ahead and press P from here, go into settings, and then from here go down to video options, and then video filter, you want to set that to normal ×4. This will upscale the video to 4 times, and it's going to result in this really sharp looking video. It looks almost like it's using integer scaling, but it's not. And so as you can see, the text and everything, it looks very, very nice. And also what I've done is I've used an overlay, and that is GBA2X. I have actually used Pixel ones and Miyoo one as well. This can actually look give you the pixel look if that's what you're into. As you can see, it looks a bit more pixelated. If I go into pixel, this has a different pixel look, slightly different, but you can actually add the pixel look if you want the look of a Game Boy Advance screen. I have just gone with this after messing around with loads of them, and I've changed the opacity to being a bit lower because it can be too much in my opinion. You see more pixels rather than the game. But yeah, Game Boy Advance, amazing on this. Again, it looks very, very nice, and also it plays really, really nice as well. And if you take the effects and filters off, you can fast forward a lot more quicker than this. But I'm happy with the speed, and Game Boy Advance, I can recommend this for Game Boy Advance. It looks very, very nice, and it plays really, really well. Now you can also get Nintendo DS on this if you install Onion OS and play the Pokemon games and some other games on Nintendo DS, and apparently the performance is actually really, really nice. Now another system on this that I have been amazed with is PS1. This has 24 PS1 games, and they look amazing on this display. So you can play PS1 on this and it looks amazing. The performance does have a little bit of stuttering. Now I haven't tried all the PS1 games. I know some of the games are really, really intensive, but a lot of the PS1 games like Final Fantasy or Castlevania, they're gonna play really, really well. And the aspect ratio of this display works really, really well with PS1, so I can definitely recommend this for PS1. Not all of the games are going to run really well, but most of those games that are going to run, they do look really nice and they play really well. This has amazing performance for portable and small systems like Neo Geo Pocket, which I've mentioned is also amazing. It looks amazing on this. And all the portable systems like Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance and everything, and Nintendo DS I haven't tested it, but apparently it has really good performance. They are amazing for this thing is amazing for that. Now some bigger systems like SNES and PS1, it does stutter here and there, but you can play the games really well. So that's a very nice. So I do like the performance for the price, getting a really nice device. Now this also does have movable saves because it's using RetroArch, so you can find the saves and also the save states, move them to different devices, and you can carry on playing the game, so which is very nice. Now let's talk about the battery life. This has a 3000 milliamp hour battery, and I've been getting about 3 hours. That's the only thing I can mention, and I do have to charge almost every day when I'm playing it. So in my opinion, a little bit of a drawback. I would like more battery life. And now let's talk about the pros and the cons, what I like about this and what I dislike about this. Now I do love the design. It's very cute. It's very portable. I like the display on it. While I did initially think it was going to be small, it's turned out to be a very nice experience and a very nice display. And also like the controls. These are one of the best controls I've ever used. It's very nice. Some of the things I don't like about this is the comfort. It can be a bit hard to use, very uncomfortable to use, get cramps on my hand because it is a very small device. The battery life, I would like a longer battery as well. As you can see, it just keeps going down. Okay, jump cut. I do need to mention another thing which is a big drawback. I've noticed when you put this to sleep, it doesn't really do anything. It only cuts off the sound and the display. You can feel this over here and it's still warm, and so it's definitely on. And I did actually take this out of my pocket and press the sleep button and to turn the display back on, and it said game over. So the game was still running, and the battery was just gone. So that, and I was playing SNES, and so that's one negative I will say about this. The sleep function doesn't seem to be working, and in my opinion that's just a big deal, because I would like a device that you can, if it has the features which this does, but it doesn't seem to work, to be able to just put this to sleep and then continue the game when you're waking it up. Now of course this is fixed with Onion OS, because you can just turn it off and it will go into hibernate. So if I go ahead and turn it off, as you can see, it just turns the display off. That's what I think it does. It's a very simple system, so yeah. But if you install Onion OS, you can press shut off, and what it will do is it will pull the system into hibernate. So when you turn it back on, it will just start wherever you left off. So that is a very nice system. But I do not use Onion OS on this. I've been using the stock operating system, and that's the experience you get with the stock operating system. So to conclude, I do recommend this. This is an amazing handheld for playing on the go, just throwing something in your bag or in your pocket and just carrying this with you. This is an amazing handheld. That being said, I have to consider, do I recommend this? Because there are a lot of other handhelds in this price range now that have a quad-core CPU from Ambernic and some other manufacturers and companies. Just for a little bit more you can get much better performance, and especially when there's a sale on or something. So considering that, there is one big advantage this has over them, and that is the software. Miyoo Mini Plus has a huge community behind it, and you can do so much with the software. It's amazing on this and everything. So that is a positive. But at the end of the day, if you want a device that's just standalone, this will give you a very nice experience. But if you're looking for something that will run more systems, you can find something much better for just a little bit more money, in my opinion. So it depends on what you're looking for. So yeah, that's pretty much it really. It's a very unique device. I think some people who want just a one only device, they can get this and they will be happy with this. I do recommend this as an amazing piece of handheld. So let me know in the comments your experience with this. If you have any tips, anything, ask me in the comment section below what you think. If you have any questions, Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in another video.